I actually think that for a lot of athletes, one of the biggest driving factors is making it to the games. And so for a lot of the teenagers, they've kind of achieved and lived that goal already of making it to the games, albeit that they've competed there as a teen. And so I think that it can act as a bit of like a box tick, and they're like, okay, I've done that, I've achieved that, and then want to move on to something else. Adds, life, especially at an 18 to 21-year-old, changing from like school to university, starting work, doing all those things. I think with that kind of all those factors in place, it can really divert a lot of athletes into different paths.
So basically 2017 was the year when I had my final exam at high school. So I did that, I finished that, I passed all the tests, and I had the longer holidays. So during that time I was spending my free time basically at the gym, training, and I just noticed that, okay, me being at the gym and focusing on the training, on the nutrition, on the recovery really paid off for those 2 months, and this is what I'm gonna do. This is a very simple plan for another few months. So I decided that I'm gonna give it another chance, and I'm gonna try to qualify for the regionals 2018 by training and being patient. Tell me.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty cool. Playing it cool. I don't know. The gym looks pretty cool. Like, it's not a lot of things going on here, so I think we're gonna have a perfect space to do the workout. In general, I'm feeling quite fresh, ready to go. So I'm just like, should I just go and try how I'm gonna hold on? No, I think I'm just gonna divide handstand push-ups, even though it's not so many reps. I think I'm just gonna do 2 sets on each. And actually I'm curious about the lunges. It's gonna be hard to keep the dumbbells all the time, but I think it's gonna be quite fine.
So we haven't fully peaked for this competition, meaning that actually we basically had one full rest day, which changed from the training week. We haven't peaked properly. But this being said, I do believe they have an easy time qualifying for semis, but it does give us a little indication of like, okay, where are you amongst all of these thousands of other athletes in these types of workouts? Where's your strength at? Where are your wall balls and rope climbs at? Because you often don't get a chance to test amongst this many people. So I do think it's important that when you're doing the workout, you're giving full effort, even though we may know that it's not full peak and full capacity yet. For example, if there's a workout where we're like super far behind the rest of the field, that's going to really okay, we really need to look and evaluate what is the factor in that going forward. 3, don't worry about grinding it out, just go to singles to finish, because you'll get through a lot quicker than having to do a big set at the end. But I think in essence, we know roughly the time domain now from the videos that come out, so you can prepare yourself a little for that, but it's actually going to be quite quick. But you're going to be through the 50s in no time. So I think the first set of lunges, first set of handstand push-ups, there's no real need to stress through there. Then you go with a bit of feel off the deficit. But actually for you guys, it's barely a deficit, There's like one plate. And it's only 20 reps.
I really like all the workouts. So I didn't see, there was nothing I was afraid of or I didn't want to do, or every workout I was excited to try and see where my fitness level is at this moment, at this time of the season.
we went in with kind of zero expectations. The expectation was we want to make it onto the next stage, not really worrying where we are on the leaderboard. And we saw the workouts, you know, I think it was a mix of workouts, like typical CrossFit, some strength in there, some conditioning, and all the variants in between. And so when I first saw them, I think it was well-programmed stage.
The walking lunges are one of my favorite movements ever in CrossFit. So I was really excited to try this one. But on the other hand, I'm aware that I'm not the fastest in the field when it comes to speed on the handstand push-ups. So I was thinking that breaking up the first set of handstand push-ups is going to be a smart thing to do. But something funny happened during the workout. On the handstand push-ups on the first round, and I just felt like everything is so smooth. I had those thoughts in my head that, okay, you were planning to break it up, but you should trust yourself more. At the end of the day, it's still a training, so just go for it. And this is what I did, and it paid off. First in Europe, in this one, and I don't know, in the worldwide.
It was a good workout.
It was an awesome workout.
I think it was a kind of good practice to go with some obstacles, like literally, because the floor here was super wet because of the humidity in Mallorca. And I was doing my lunges and I started to slide like quite hard. Like I was doing really like ballet kind of style lunges on the floor, but nothing happened luckily, and I was able to stay in my zone and not get frustrated about the situation.
So from like 2016, when Gabby came to do a teen camp actually before she went out, and already then, you know, like she was, you could tell she had lots of talent. She was the only female on the camp. The rest of the teens were guys, and especially in like machine conditioning, she would, you know, she would keep up with them, which, you know, is unusual for a female to be able to hold the same kind of power output as a male.
I was in general very happy to be there, and right before the first event, EP3, I was just so nervous. I was like, I just saw all the girls which I used to follow on Instagram or other social media, and I was just standing next to them and I was about to compete against them.
That regional event, winning the first event, obviously put her like back on the map, going from teen to elite.
Every like 600, 400 meter, I was making my way. And all of a sudden, all I could hear was the speaker said my name, that I'm all of a sudden in the lead. And I was just shocked.
Gabriela, the chess piece has moved to the final portion of the floor. She's in her last quarter mile.
I really wanted to win this one, especially because I was so close and only 400 meters left. I think I switched on another gear, and I really sprint this 400 meters, which cost me a lot of energy, but I got to win this one.
And I think that kind of started her transition through into where she is now.
It was an amazing feeling, really special.
Gabriela, 19 years old, one event in her career, one event win. She takes triple threes in impressive fashion.
What a way to start her weekend out. She's got to be super happy with this. we've seen you now in the sport of CrossFit for several years. We saw you at the CrossFit Games as a teenager back in 2016. So how have you changed your training up now that you're competing at the regional level, not in an age division?
I finished high school, and after that I did a 1 year break in college, so my focus in 100% is in CrossFit now, so I have plenty of time for trainings, recovery and diet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's working well for you. Congrats.
Thank you. So today, for the extra power, I'm bringing back all gas, no brakes, straight from Texas. Can't wait to wear it. It's gonna give me at least 10 more kilos, I'm pretty sure. But like 108 the other day was so easy.
Yeah, and you had to clean and jerk.
Yeah, so I think like if I'm gonna open with 110, it's just I'm gonna do one or two more lifts.
Yeah, I think 3, because also we've got to remember there is the overhead squat afterwards as well. So, but I think 3 lifts is sensible. Like, we'll know, get the first one at 110.
And then I will decide if I'm gonna do this or that.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's gonna be...
Where's the rest?
Overhead squat 120. So I'm not gonna hit all those numbers. Just to explain, I'm not gonna have enough time, but it's just like, so the CrossFit Game announced that this year everyone who's lifting in kilos, they need to actually convert the weight before they're gonna do the attempt. So that's why I do the mathematics before, to not be stressed about it during the workout. And yeah, like the clean is the most known, so I kind of have an idea what number I'm gonna attack and go for. The bench press is very unknown, so I write down a lot of possibilities. So I'm just gonna go by feel. Like it would be amazing to hit 90 kilos, but that's my all-time PR. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm very positive, very pumped about this one. So.
So I was planning for a long time to test my 1 rep max in squat clean. At rope we had some heavy complex involving squat cleans. I wasn't satisfied. The weight felt way too easy. Then in Dubai we had heavy 1 rep clean and jerk. So I finished this event with 110, and I also felt like the clean was quite comfortable, so I was very excited to finally try my squat clean. And finally they announced the quarterfinal workout. I was planning to open with 105 and record that, but the 105 during the warm-up felt so easy, so I decided, okay, let's try to go heavier and maybe let's open with 111.
And I remember we were watching each other because I was helping her to load the bar. I was like, let's do it. Let's put more weight because it looks super easy.
111, 116, and what you can put on the bar from 116? Straight 120, right? Like, I don't like to play with small plates.
Like she put together really everything what is needed to lift heavy. She was focused, she was strong that day, and she was, as always, really powerful.
Another disappointing moment and devastating moment, I would say, at the time. It was just a very strange feeling, just because I was coming into regionals without any expectation. And of course I wanted to do as good as I can, but I didn't expect that I'm going to qualify, especially in such a hard region. I was basically all weekend in the qualifying spot, and the last workout, last day, I was just fighting to stay inside the top 5. So it was very stressful and disappointing as well.
You know, every athlete has kind of setbacks at some point in their career, and I think the big difference is how they respond to those setbacks. So, you know, something might not go your way, but if you perceive it as being bad or you perceive it as being good, they can offer very different motivational factors. And so, you know, in an instance like that where you just miss out on qualifying games, is that going to add fuel to the fire to keep coming back years later? You know, there are unanswered questions, but I think that, you know, in this case, it obviously added kind of fuel to the fire and the desire for those things not to happen again.
Yeah, I think so. It was just another obstacle on my way, and I think everything happens for a reason. It's something really cheesy, but over those years, I just feel that I wasn't ready for the games that year, and I think it was one of the best thing which happens to me. It just gave me more fire, if that makes sense, during the training.
Yeah, slow, wobbly, touch
And I
and
think
go.
in some ways it can give you more confidence if you go in there and you've got to do singles rather than have this, I'm going to do 4 unbroken. So you just go in, boom, stay in that rhythm, stay over the bar to go through. And also, as we said, you're in a very good place, so there's no need to risk pushing. It's a good workout for you. I think play within yourself a little, there's no need to risk anything.
It's very tricky because in my head the touch and goes are much faster, but I'm not sure if with this weight it's gonna be the case, because 61 kilo for the girls for power snatch after rowing and burpees, I think it's gonna be slower doing the touch and go. I think I'm gonna fight to keep it touch and go, and my legs just gonna shake, and it's gonna be just slow rather than like snatch it, drop, snatch, drop. So I will play it with the weight during the warm-up, but I think I'm gonna go singles. I'm just trying to see myself when I'm doing the workout, and I'm trying to think in like which part of the workout is gonna be the hardest. Like I'm just trying to prepare myself for the pain. Let's say, like lately my favorite thing to say in my mind before the workout is saying, make peace with the pain. It's just that simple. Just like prepare yourself, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna end soon, especially in the workout like this. It's maximum 5 minutes of work, so just go.
going to the final day, I was already in quite comfortable position. And knowing that the last workout, it's a really good one for me, I wasn't really stressed. Like, of course, I love winning, and I just wanted to kind of like bring it home, if that makes sense. So, but it didn't get into my head.
I think it was my favorite workout. I think it was short and fast, and actually it wasn't about burpees. It was all about the snatches. Like the first 3 reps on the snatches were quite challenging. I was thinking, okay, what's happening with my legs? They are kind of gone. But then they came back from 5th to last one, it was all good. They just needed to get warm. There's nothing happened during the workout which I'm not happy about. Like, of course, the ring muscle up one is not, the finish there is not ideal, but when I just comparing myself to my old self from last year, I think the improvement is there. And I wasn't scared of that workout. I just attacked it from the beginning. Unfortunately, I couldn't hold on at the last round, but now I have the data and I know how far I can push. And this is why we are testing the workout, right? To have the data and to gather all the information for the games, for the most important moment.
You know, a place, you know, being able to win Europe in the quarterfinals, I mean, being able to win Europe at any stage is super impressive. Europe's, you know, without question got the most depth of the female field.
I was just thinking about how the weekend went, and I was very happy how I executed the workouts.
I think it's really important to take these stages of competition and reflect on them. You know, did we expect this to happen? And is it a positive or a negative? And for us, it was like, okay, so, you know, what we've been doing up to the quarters have been working. What do we need to do in order to solidify that and make improvements in certain areas as we get into the semis?
The takeaways from finishing third in worldwide in quarterfinals are only positive. I mean, like, my focus wasn't even to win quarterfinals, and I end up on the first place. So this can mean only good stuff. That okay, like the focus is there now for the live competition. So I think I'm on the good path. In my head, it was more like, okay, open, check. Quarterfinals, check. Now the fun begins with semifinals.